Hey everybody, and welcome to another MOTUfigures.com video spotlight. It's time for Adora. You're going to keep going? I think they probably know the song by now. We probably have to continue it. Last time around we took a look at Battle Armor He-Man. We had two choices for this figure since it was a two-figure month when this came out. And we chose Battle Armor He-Man first, and now we're getting back to Adora. When they first showed Adora, it was a pretty big thing because it showed that they were going to keep going with the line for a while. They kind of planned it ahead because you're getting Adora before you get She-Ra, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like getting Clark Kent before you get a Superman figure, or getting Bruce Wayne before you get a Batman, or getting Adam before you get He-Man.
Oh, I would not like that at all.
No, that would be strange. But it's a little different. The more I thought about this, the more I thought it was a little different.
You know, I think of it like this. They did Adora first because she was Force Captain before anything.
That's true. Before she became She-Ra. And that's kind of what I was getting to the point here too. Is that those characters, like Clark Kent, is kind of boring without Superman, and Bruce Wayne is cool. I love Bruce Wayne, but again, that's the mask, so he's kind of boring without Batman. And Prince Adam's just kind of the goofy prince without He-Man. So there's not really much to go on. But she was Force Captain, trained with the Horde all her life, is a great fighter, can do all these things. So I'm kind of cool with just Adora being Adora, you know?
Like, I wanted a Filmation sword on my She-Ra, so I just switched out. Sorry, she has the gold sword now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. But yeah, so I don't mind having just an Adora. Like, if I was picking a team of fighters and stuff and I couldn't have She-Ra, I wouldn't even really mind as long as I had Adora. Because she's still a great fighter, even without the She-Ra powers. She almost doesn't even need to be She-Ra. She could just be Adora all the time and still get the job done.
She kind of does.
Sometimes she does, okay, every once in a while. But Adora handles herself just fine.
Right.
So the figure reuses some of the Tila buck parts, but it has some new parts here. It's got new forearms, it's got new boots with like the cuffed boots. And then, of course, she's got a new head, which the head sculpt's really sharp. I like it a lot. I don't think it's as pretty as the Tila head sculpt, but it's still very nice. They did a really good job on the hair. I think the coming down and the kind of curly cues on the sides is really cool. And then she's got this sort of rubbery red... You busy with something else? Am I keeping you from something?
No, it's just looking.
Oh. So she's got this sort of red rubbery outfit to kind of mimic... I don't know how to describe that outfit from Filmation. Like, it's like a red vest swimsuit thing.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah. So in order to do that, they did this red rubbery overshirt thing.
You know, that's another one that probably couldn't fit on Swifty. I
think she can get on Swifty. Yeah, she can probably get on Swifty because this is still soft.
Right.
She can probably get on there. And that's a good point that you said that, though. And that's why they did it this way, I think, is that, you know, if they were to try to do this all the way around, it would be tough to move her legs at all. So they kind of had to do it as sort of a weird mini-skirt type thing. Right. Instead of doing it like as a sealed piece. Like, I think Icarius and things like that have ones that are pretty close around. But with the way her outfit is, it would be tough to do that. I mean, Battleground Tila just has a hard crotch piece thing and no rubbery outer thing. But I don't think that would work as well for Adora. Right. Because it has to have some kind of, like, smoothness to it. And it can't be bulky. It's got to look good. And a lot of people still don't even like this. They think it looks like a diaper. But I think it's fine.
I don't get it.
It's just because it looks kind of billowy and big, but
yeah.
I think it's fine. I know what it's supposed to be. Admittedly, it is better on Captain Glenn. They did a better job on it then, but that's the second time around. It'd be cool if they eventually brought that Captain Glenn outfit out in red for customizers to fix. So there is the outfit and the figure. I think it's a really well done figure. The first release, the articulation's a little restricted. It gets better with Reissue, which we'll take a look at in a second.
I'm sure some customizing people are just taking the vest off their Captain Glenn.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Red.
I haven't found anybody online that's done that yet, but I'm sure there is. Let's talk about her accessories.
Right.
She comes with, first she has a holster on that has a pistol inside, and the pistol is modeled after the 87 movie Tila pistol, which anytime they fit an 87 movie stuff in, I'm all for it. So there's that. And then she also has the sort of protection, which is cool. I really dig the fact that they've, instead of just using that He-Man sword mold, they've done a new mold that looks very much like Filmation. It has the crystal on both sides. But if you were to take the crystal out of this, like, imagine it without the crystals, that would be like a perfect Filmation He-Man sword.
Well, ones you have to fill it in with something.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Imagine those weren't there.
Right.
You know, so in some ways that's great because it's a great looking sword and it looks like Filmation. In other ways, it's not so great because this is supposed to be, as we'll talk about in the bio, it's supposed to be the cloned version of the Power Sword, so it should look exactly like the Power Sword, really.
Oh, I know.
So it's kind of strange that it looks different.
Can I say something about
Sure,
this sword?
Yeah.
Well, this sword's a lot more bendable than the
It
one
is soft.
that came with She-Ra. Like, I'm always having to straighten mine out. Always when I get out of the bin, the sword's not in her hand, I dig it out, find
It's
it
all
like
bent up.
all bent up.
Yeah, some of their weapons they make really out of soft plastic, and this is one of them. I've noticed that too. Like just being on display, mine is curling around from just being in the back. Oh, we should mention that. On the back, there's a little spot where you can slide in and hold the sword, which Adam doesn't have. We'll talk about that when we get to the Adam review. But I'm a sucker for any time that a figure can hold all of his accessories at once somewhere on its person and still have its hands free, and that's Adora. She can holster a blaster and have the sword.
Right.
We keep running into other things to talk about here. One of the cool things too, in that she comes with that holster and the blaster and the sword, is that you can almost have two separate versions of Adora on your shelves. I have two Adoras, this one in the reissue, and I keep one holstered with no sword. That's my Force Captain.
Right.
And I keep one without the holster and the sword, and that's Rebellion Adora. A lot of display options with Adora. And this is a Horde member. You can kind of fudge it in as one of your Horde members once she's Force Captain. So I think that about covers all the accessories and that, right? Okay, so let's talk about the reissue. Now the reissue of Adora...
Oh, I see the differences. The head has some of it.
Oh, yeah, some of what? Some differences?
differences?
Yeah, when Adora came out as a reissue, I ordered one, I think, for Keaton, maybe?
I got that original one.
Yeah, you got an original one, and then Keaton wanted one, and the reissue came up, so I ordered one, got it in the mail, and I noticed that the face had a lot more, like, warmth to it. It had almost like a reddish tone. You can't see this, me holding him up. You just have to take my word for it. So she had more of a reddish tone to her face, like more, I don't know, like blood to her face, maybe, inside of her. Like she's warmer, or she's blushing. I don't know. It looks good, though.
Yeah.
And then, like, the original Adora, I had some troubles. Like, she's really tight trying to turn, because this skirt is kind of hard. The reissue isn't, like, completely soft, but it's a lot softer, and it's able to turn a little more than the original.
Just asking, I don't think this, but are people thinking that the reissue's a little less diaperish, or?
No, they think it's exactly the same.
I don't.
I mean, because the shape is the same, really.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it seems like this one is a bit softer on the reissue.
Oh, there's also a little difference in the boot, a different red shade.
Yeah, I know. I was noticing that down here, too, that the red seemed like it was a little brighter on the reissue than it does on the original. And I think you're right. I think it is just a shade brighter. Not huge differences that you'd have to go out and hunt a reissue version down, but worth noting if you have your choice. If you had the choice, I would go with the reissue. It's slight things. It's just a little bit softer, a little bit warmer tone to the skin.
Right.
There you go. All right, let's talk about her... Do we remember to cover everything? Because last time we got us, we forgot stuff. Did we cover everything so far? Figure accessories, outfits, reissue differences?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, Adora. Real name, Adora of the House of Randor.
Like that.
That's fine. When Adora and her twin brother Adam were born, the sorceress recognized they were the twins prophesied to wield the power of Grayskull. She therefore magically cloned the Sword of He, enhancing it with the Stone of Protection, so that each twin could have a key to unlock the power. But Hordak also learned of the twins and arranged for his Eternian pupil Skeletor to abduct the infants. Man-at-Arms prevented Adam from being taken, but Adora was stolen away to the planet of Etheria, deep in the dimension of Despondos. There she was raised by Hordak until the day her brother returned, handing her her sword, which she held aloft to become She-Ra, the most powerful woman in the universe. All this is straight out of the Secret of the Sword, for the most part. The only issue... Can you guess what the only issue I have with it is?
The clone sword.
The clone sword. I don't like the whole clone sword thing.
Me neither.
I guess it's really kind of tough to explain the second sword once you've already established the power sword and Skeletor's going after the power sword and things like that. So the easy way out was for them just to clone the power sword and make She-Ra's sword. Kind of strange. If the twins were prophesized...
How come she doesn't have a power sword?
how come they didn't make two? There were two swords way back when. If they prophesized that it was going to be twins all this time, why weren't there two swords to begin with? I don't know. That's kind of frustrating to me. But it is kind of tough to explain her sword. I mean, it's the sword of protection, and you could explain that these jewels come from Hero's staff or something like that, or that.
Oh, they do.
It's that's what I would say. Or that, this is half of the power sword, that they each have a half of the power sword. And hers is augmented with these jewels so that when she's in Etheria, she can still tap in the power of Grayskull way off where or whatever. There's a lot of things you can do, and magically cloning seems to be a go-to answer here for the bios. And I don't like magically cloned swords.
Me neither.
It's kind of lame-ish. Cool figure. You really, I think she's an A-list character that you need to have. Because she's awesome.
Like, I got it, right after it came out.
She's way cool. I remember you wanted her pretty early. After you got started on the line, Adora was one of the ones you wanted early on. You liked Adora. I like Adora. I like having an Adora more than an Atom. I mean, is it bold to say that? Is it bold? It's pretty bold. But I like having an Adora more than an Atom. She's a more useful character. I hate to say it. He-Man's awesome. I love He-Man. And I would actually choose a He-Man before a She-Ra figure. But I would choose an Adora figure before an Atom figure.
Well, I'm pretty sure everybody would choose a He-Man before She-Ra because it's called the He-Man line.
Yeah, well, no, it's Masters of the Universe, not He-Man, the line.
Oh, I thought it was He-Man in the Master of the Universe.
No, that's what the old cartoon's called. But, yeah. So that's it for Adora, right?
Yep.
You're tired. I can tell.
Not that tired.
You're looking pretty tired. You got enough time for an Ultimate Battleground?
Yep.
Okay, we'll squeeze in an Ultimate Battleground then. So we'll sign off on this one and we'll see you guys next time. Good journey.
Good journey.